Hello and welcome to Lesson 12 in our 29-day EQ Challenge course. Today we're going to talk about self-talk. You know, for most people, the voice that we hear the most often is the voice that's going on inside our head. It's that internal dialogue or internal monologue that represents our thoughts, kind of making a narration on life. Managing that self-talk is incredibly important to you, because those voices, that voice you hear inside your head, has more impact on you than any other voice that you will ever hear. Imagine, for example, that you have your best friend talking to you with encouraging thoughts and inspiring thoughts, propelling you to discover and embrace that greatness that you have within every moment of every day. But for many people, their self-talk isn't anything like that. For many people, their self-talk is talking about the things that should have been and the fears about things that might be or the things that could go wrong. They're talking about what they should have said and could have said to somebody else and how somebody else has wronged them in some way. They're talking about the ways in which they are weak or the ways in which they are trapped. And that self-talk is just fuel on the fire of their fears. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can, with practice over time, change that self-talk so that it is very, very positive, so that you become your best friend, talking to you in positive, nurturing tones all the time. I remember when I first started to manage my own self-talk many decades ago, that what I saw whenever I became aware of this internal monologue, this internal dialogue, was three or four parallel streams of screaming rage and anger all the time, incredibly high energy, fueled by caffeine and young adrenaline. It was just going on constantly, thinking about this, thinking about that, dreaming about this, saying what I was going to say, saying what I should have said, and the thoughts were almost entirely negative. It took me a long time, but over time I became a master of my internal dialogue. And you can do it too. And you don't have to do it all at once. You can start very simply by just lowering the speed of talking to yourself, by changing the tone of your voice just a little bit, from one that's raging and angry to one that's a little softer and a little kinder. You can replace some of those toxic words that you are using, words like victim and worthless and anger and anxious, with words like powerful and capable and kind and eager. You can replace entire streams of thoughts with poems or affirmations or mantras. You can recite lines or great quotes that you have learned. You can sing songs to yourself. You can do all kinds of things to manage that internal dialogue. And gradually over time, you will learn to catch yourself. And when you find yourself thinking a disparaging word, when you find yourself saying bad things to yourself, putting yourself down in some way, you'll be able to flip that and switch it to where you can just hear empowering words that you are speaking to yourself. So a big part of self-management is being able to manage that self-talk and replacing those thoughts of doubt, those thoughts of worthlessness, those thoughts of disempowerment with ones of capability and competence and confidence and kindness towards yourself. And soon you will find yourself being able to manage your moods and your attitudes much better than you ever could before. So start with the exercises below, and here's wishing you a very kind and gentle and nurturing and optimistic and loving form of self-talk for yourself for the rest of your life.